Showbiz Tonight is declaring a new trend in Hollywood, stars not having sex, including teen stars Miley Cyrus and the Jonas Brothers saying they are holding out until marriage. But wait a minute, Britney Spears said the same thing, and that backfired big time. Even rocker Lenny Kravitz says he's saving himself. But why on earth are they telling us about it? In Miami, Steve Santagati of AskSteveSantagati.com. In New York, clinical psychologist Dr. Judy Kuriansky. Dr. Judy, Steve, thank you both for being here. And by the way, Dr. Judy is the author of Generation Sex. Okay, you two, Miley Cyrus, also the Jonas Brothers. Those guys actually wear purity rings, and I think it's great to be so open about it. But Dr. Judy, there are those who say they're young, they're kids. Why do they feel the need to proclaim to the world that they aren't having sex? Why do they feel compelled to go public about their private decisions here?
Oh, they need to, because we could tear our hair out over so many kids who are having sex, and at least if they say so. Now listen to the statistics that really are good news and support what Miley has said, and that is the number of high school students having intercourse has reduced 10%, but it's gone from over 50% to under 50%. So that is good news.
It certainly is. And Steve, I don't want you to tear your hair out over this.
No.
And you know, when Britney Spears was a young star, she proclaimed her virginity to the world only to be sandbagged by her ex, Justin Timberlake, who told Barbara Walters that they had slept together. Steve, some feel that these kids could be setting themselves up for failure.
Well, apples don't fall too far from the tree in that family anyway. Listen, bottom line is this, and I always use that term bottom line. If you're announcing something on television, you're doing it for one reason, and that reason, ladies and gentlemen, is publicity. What they're doing is because all these other stars are so off and onto the right-hand side, which is like crazy, showing your private parts on television and all this stuff, they're going to the goody two-shoe side. Otherwise, who cares what they do in their private life? They're teenagers. No one's going to have the right to ask them about sex on camera anyways. Why do they have to come out and do it and talk about it? It's simple. Publicity. They want to seem like these angels.
It's
come on.
Just publicity,
are you that naive?
Steve? I think
of course it is.
Listen, this is a psychological principle. It doesn't matter. When you declare something publicly to your friends, even in your own personal life, that means you're accountable to it. No. And even if you don't end up fulfilling that, it really is psychologically a great way to make yourself live up to that. So I'm all for it.
No, I think that they're trying to set a good example. I certainly think,
you know,
that's
Brooke,
good. Yeah, they're setting a good example.
But you're questioning if they're being genuine about it, Steve,
especially for the guys.
That it is for publicity.
Do you know what it's like being a 15, 16-year-old boy? Neither of you do. Trust me, I'm not that far away from that. Mentally.
Well, it's good that they're
not
shying away from the challenge. It's something challenging, and it's good that they're not turning their backs against that. And I also want to say, you have these young stars, and then you have 44-year-old rocker Lenny Kravitz, who has dated the most beautiful, most famous women in the world, including Penelope Cruz and Nicole Kidman. He says he's been celibate for 3 years. Listen to what he said on the CBS Early Show about why he has decided to stop having sex.
I believe in the end that's going to help me to find the right person. So I'm not going to waver on that. That's a promise I made to God 3 years ago.
Dr. Judy, Lenny's promise to God is a wonderful one. What is he gaining, though, by telling the world about it?
I think it's a wonderful example. He's part of like what we call the emo man, the emotional man, this guy now who is going to say that sex matters, and there are more and more men and women who are becoming what we call second virgins. That means they can wipe the slate clean.
You can't be a second virgin.
Start all over again. Of course you can. You could say, never mind the past.
Oh, really?
I'm going to save my sexuality as an adult for somebody who really emotionally is a valid partner for me, and where I can be spiritually connected, as Lenny has said. Bless you, Lenny. Be a good role model for other
Steve,
guys.
Lenny says in the end it's going to help him find the right person, and he's not going to waver on that. But you strongly disagree, obviously.
No, listen, I understand because I'm the same age, oddly enough, and I also think that when you're not pursuing women all the time, there's a certain amount of clarity that comes into your life. And when you can get anybody you want, like a Lenny Kravitz, then you can be celibate for 3 years and no one's going to point and laugh at you. But for him to come out publicly and talk about it, is he promoting an album? Does he have a movie coming out? Something happening? He's trying to separate himself from the rest of the crowd, which is very smart. I happen to like Lenny Kravitz, and I think maybe if he's living the life of an ascetic there, Judy, Dr. Judy, then there's some value in it. Ascetic. It's a spiritual lifestyle that you get clarity by depriving yourself of worldly gain,
about publicity
worldly
for
pleasures.
him. He has had all. He can have any girl he wants. This is an excellent
Judy.
role model, just like Miley Cyrus is trying to be.
Yeah.
The idea of a guy saving himself for an emotional relationship when it really
Judy.
matters is
I'm gonna
exactly
have
what
to
should be shown.